All right, well, I guess it is 6:31, so we'll go ahead and call the meeting to order. And if, look over the minutes from the last meeting in May. We can kind of look through, at the same time, we can look at the financials. If you kind of look at the, one thing I was just looking at, the cash flow from July 1st through June 1st of 2024, that gives us 11-month period, so it's getting kind of close to what it all is. You can see that we're a money-making operation here at $1,527 over a year's time frame. So, that's kind of where, we're not here to make money. We're here to, improve the village and everything like that. So we're putting our money back into the village for the most part with everything. So. Can I get a motion to approve the minutes from last month?
I make a motion.
I'll second it.
Any discussion about the minutes? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
All right. The old business, any of the old business really is nothing, not really much old business really. The Sunflower Festival is coming in a week and a half, so get ready. I've been in contact with the Historical Society. They came and did some electrical stuff. I talked to Mr. Raymond I think it was Saturday afternoon. He was out there. He is going to put a plug on the outside of the building here. Thurman's got to tap through the wall. I talked to him about it. And what he'll do is just give a plug out there where he can hook up another one of those panels to get electricity out here. And the Historical Society's paying for all of that. So it'll be something we could use in the future, for any kind of, we'll have electrical access to this back corner back here from my understanding. I haven't looked at it and seen, but he said Thurman was going to be back today. So he should be, he might get with you, Darnell, about getting the key. Okay. Thurman, maybe. If not, I told him to call me or call you or something about getting the key to get in. Let's see, what does she wrote down here? We're paying $500 to get the, that kind of can be a new business. That's some new business. With the Sunflower Festival and everything, we are paying $500 to help clean up the area. Darnell is getting some help to clean it up and everything like that. So we're paying that, and then the Historical Society is going to paying half, and we're paying half. So just to kind of get it ready for the festival, we do this every year. I think Thursday is the workers are going to be out here. My wife and Darnell are going to be helping keep them. Miss Delia gave y'all a list of what needs, a list of what to get cleaned up and everything. So that'll be Thursday, and I think everything is good to go. Do you have anything to say about the Sunflower Festival? Anything different?
No, we had a quick little meeting last night, but it's about ready. They're wrapping up some final stuff, but we should be good to go.
Hopefully the rain stops. I don't know. We've had enough rain to last us until, when it stops, it's probably not going to come on for another 3 months. But I know that y'all are going to be using down there the old churchyard.
Yeah,
use that,
but the food truck guy is going to have a generator.
Okay, so we never had to worry about getting any of that.
Mm-hmm.
After the festival, I've got she's got the SWEPCO bills right here. I'm going to talk to Raymond after the festival. I don't want to bombard him in the middle of this about going forward about the Historical Society paying for the maintenance of the keeping these meters in place all year long. It's costing the village around $935 roughly, because it's gone up. Back in last June it was $64.58, and these are things that aren't getting used at all. These are just the meters sitting there, and just to have just to participate or cover this for, because it all is for the festival, and it's cost a whole lot more if you pull them up and put them in, pull them up, put them in.
Right.
It's probably, I don't know I think at one time it's $250 to come set a meter. So I mean, they'd having to do that, it would be
It's too much
very
to spend.
expensive for that. So we'll have that conversation, and I'll get back to y'all after the next meeting about that. The resolution, we passed a resolution about the cooperative endeavor agreement and asking for a little bit more time. Ms. Helen said that this is what she told me just earlier. We have a written plan for the cooperative endeavor agreement and submitted the budget to the state for review. There was a few adjustments necessary suggested by the Department of Administration that were made and resent. In addition, a meeting was held with an engineer and an architect on May 14th, and he's agreed to visit with an electrician, HVAC, and other support people to affirm his thought that the roof is top priority and determine order of other work. The state is helping us get all that in line to get signatures. And how that worked is, and I'm very thankful Ms. Helen's taking the lead on this and really working with this, because you have to, it's not just have a budget, you've got to get an engineer out here and got to get a plan together, and then have to get people to come out and get a scope of work, and and then put a plan together and then submit it to the state to be able to get the money. So she's really taking the bull by the horns with that. So we'll see where that goes, and if we get approved for it to last another year, and we'll be able to spend it, and do the upgrades. But he did meet with him and said the roof was by far the top priority, and trying to get it, get that part taken care of. I haven't, I guess it'll probably be this week that the portal will show up. What was it? It was a week before and a week after or something, the Sunflower Festival. So it should be coming. Did she say when she?
Yeah, she was doing it a week before. I don't recall the date.
So it very well could come this week, into this week or so. So I was actually, I had a wedding at my house, and my wife was like, we need 4 sunflowers. So I snuck down here and cut 4 of them. It's going to be a good year as far as the flowers. They're going to be big and pretty. So they got a lot of water. So it's going to be, I know last year they were a little short, but this year they should be very, very pretty.
There's really tall ones down at the first field just north of Valerie's house.
Yeah.
But
All right. I guess the next thing we can look at, if y'all want to look at the proposed budget at the end of there. What we had to do is we had to add the $181,000 or $150,000 for the if we get the with the plans to getting the money from the cooperative endeavor agreement. So if you and it's a wash at the bottom, so you'll kind of see it that. So it's really looking at, we've got to gonna projected to run a net loss of about $2,500. We'll see how that all works out. Depends on a few little things, odds and ends and differences, and but this is also just a projected budget. But she did talk to Ben, and he said we did need to add that in there in case that money does come in. It's actually in our budget, so we'll get a ordinance. I guess we got to get a motion to have an ordinance passed to approve the budget.
do we need to see if there was any discussion on it first?
Yeah, absolutely as well. Okay, I guess I can get a motion and then a second, and then we'll have some discussion on it. So
I make a motion to pass the budget.
I can get a
I'll
second.
second it.
All right. Any discussion about the budget? It's really pretty much, we're going to get some money from some franchise taxes and occupational, brings in about $20,000 together. Rental of the bank building and the village hall, different revenue from that's about $2,100, and the library funds are really our main 4 revenue, and all our expenses are pretty much maintaining our stuff and utilities. I mean, how big is the utilities, but street lights cost. They're nice though. I mean, you don't think they're that important until electricity goes out, and then you go walk around town and it gets dark real quick out here. So.
Is there a way she could split up like the occupational licenses? Who pays what on it?
As far as who we can request that we get a copy of it, but as far as the budget, I mean, I don't know if we need to put it on the budget, like individually line item, everybody's
No,
different.
but just for us to see it.
Yeah, absolutely. We can get her to see exactly where the occupational
Because she
license
kind of
are.
doesn't want to show things to me, I guess.
Right,
I've
well-
asked her, but she,
Right, yeah, well,
I'm gonna
I'll
let you
get
know.
with her and we can get a copy of the occupational license and all of that stuff. That's no
and
big
there's
deal.
other things in town or in the village that should be paying too, and I don't know that they're paying, unless they're paying her and she hasn't told us or anything.
Right, I got you. Well, we can, sure, we can be open about that and everything, so. Any other discussions about it? Obviously, this isn't, a budget is a budget. It's not a check and an expenses. It can be fluent with that. Like this year, we haven't, I shouldn't even say it, knock on wood, we hadn't had any air conditioner problems like we had all last year.
Right, like last year. What about the computer?
She's going to get that when she gets back. I talked to her about that, and I was like, she's like, look, let me get all this going and get everything situated and get to Ireland and then come back with it. And then
We
can
could go and buy one. We could go and buy one.
Right, and I mean, and she said that I could do that. I'm just, honestly, my biggest concern is to get everything moved off of her home computer is the biggest thing.
Yeah,
So, and
that's going to be
the-
a lot of work.
Right. Well, at least if we can get it going. I think that's you.
Yeah.
We can get that going and get that, and get it moved over there. And that's the biggest thing. So,
Yeah.
I will. But she did. I talked to her about that. I asked her about that, and she said, "Look, let me get to Ireland and everything, and then when I get back, we can get that computer bought."
Because,
and
I
everything.
told her that I could help her any
Right.
way I can. The computer thing, I'm not that great on, but I mean, I could get her stuff all organized, ready
Right.
for her to put in there.
Right, and I think it's more of budgetary stuff as far as just she has it in a system there. It's just being able to load it into the QuickBooks, and buying QuickBooks and getting that, is kind of what's going to be the most work. From the little bit I've talked to her about it, is it's not necessarily a huge amount of like organizational files. It's more of just getting it.
Well, there should be,
digitized.
like all the years that we've had.
Well, I mean, we have some of that stuff.
Well, I would think she's got, you
On the
can
computer
export
already?
from QuickBooks and then you load it into the new version of QuickBooks.
Yeah.
I would
So,
think a lot of it's electronic.
Yeah.
And like all the minutes through the years. I mean, that would be nice.
Yeah, and some of that stuff
Like I
is.
said, it might be a lot of work.
Yeah, and then some of that stuff is here because I ran into a bunch of it back here, and then there's obviously some filed here. It's not all at her house. She'll get some stuff and then she'll bring it up here. She doesn't have just a whole big room of it. It's just the main thing is just the operational stuff on our computer at home. So.
Yeah. Well, like I said, I can help her out. Like on the weekends, I could help her out.
Right. Well, I'll let her.
Need some help to get things organized.
All right. Well, let's. Any more discussion on the budget? All in favor of the budget?
Aye.
Aye.
And no opposes. All right, we will get a resolution for the budget next and have it passed for the July meeting. And she said we haven't heard anything about the village sign. I saw that where they made them and everything, but I haven't heard when they're going to install them and all
The
of that.
village what?
The sign that's supposed to go in front of the church and all
it's
that.
not-
Because,
I know
I
they had a
know-
problem with someone else's sign, and they had to redo that, but,
Maybe they're just
the little
kinda
bit they were
behind.
talking about, last night, I think they are just a little behind.
Yeah, I know that. Yeah, because Dixie Welfare made them all
Mm-hmm.
and everything. So they're having. I'm sure they have to get a bids on who's going to install them all and how and start installing them around and everything. So.
Well, that would have been nice if it had been ready for the
Oh
Sunflower
yeah.
Festival.
Well, it was supposed to be ready installed by January 1 too, but that didn't work. All right. Anything else? All right.
Well,
Oh,
I kind of wish we would have had a fire department when that house over there burnt down.
right.
Yeah, it took a while for those 3 different villages sent one over, but it was
Well, it's-
already burned up by then.
How that
I was
works?
over there, I was called over there, it didn't take long at all, they just had to get this stuff together and get the hose out to hook
Right.
the water to.
They have a truck, and how the fire department works, they have a man station. Fire District 7 covers basically from the railroad. If you take a line from from Thunder Road straight across, and it cuts off right at the bottom side of Vivian, all the way to basically the little toy airplane area on 171,
Oh,
a
yeah,
straight
yeah,
line
yeah.
across there. That's Caddo Fire District 7. And they have they man 2 guys. Actually, right now they're with the bridge out. They're manning a station in Mooringsport. They man one in Oil City, and they man one in Belcher, with 1 guy per deal. It used to they didn't have the one in Mooringsport. They just had 2 in Oil City. But with the bridge out, having to go around the bridge,
Yeah, that's
it
a
was
big
really
mess.
bad whenever they were having to go. Whenever the Belcher Oil City Road bridge was out, because then they were having to go all the way, down Clyde Place around here. But and then Fire District 8, which runs mutual aid with them, has Halston manned, and then they have 2 guys in Vivian. So I haven't looked at the response times or anything like that, but if they were in house, I mean, they have one coming from there.
Yeah, well,
So-
everybody got out. Nobody got
Right,
blown up, so that's
right.
good.
Yeah, I mean,
You kind of don't
everybody
know
wants
who to call.
Right.
You know, it's like,
I mean, everybody wants a fireman, but I mean, a fire department here. But I mean, you're talking
that's a lot of
it's a
expense.
significant. You're looking at, if you name one guy here, you're looking at roughly, starting out with a brand new fireman, you're looking at about $70,000 per fireman. You need 3 of them, so that's $210,000 just in personnel,
Yeah,
not
we
counting
couldn't
that.
do that.
So I mean, that's where, I mean, they have a budget. The fire department. I know the reason I know this because I do sit on the fire department board.
Right.
We just actually hired a new fire chief that should be starting June 15th. So our other fire chief passed away. And the budgets, don't quote me exactly, but it's like $1.5, $1.6 million. But it doesn't go long when you have 9, because they have 9 guys. They have a day captain that helps run the day-to-day operations and be on call as well, and then obviously a fire chief. So there's it's a lot. It's
So it's not a voluntary one.
It can be volunteer. It's a hybrid program. You have they allow volunteers and you have paid guys. I started in just history of volunteer fire departments, and this is a nationwide issue. I started volunteering at the fire department in 1998. There was volunteers everywhere. This department was completely volunteer then. Volunteer firefighters have gone by the wayside over the last 20 years nationwide. That's a problem. I mean, you might have some high school kids or some kids right out of school come in and volunteer for a little bit, or you'll have a few people. But the days where you have volunteer departments around here, now up north there may be places where you have volunteer guys. I mean, those 40 and 50 volunteer guys, it just doesn't happen anymore. I remember when Casey Hall volunteered here, there was a huge volunteer here, but it's just people don't do that anymore.
They're older here. There's a lot
Right.
of older people here.
Well, and the younger people just aren't coming into it. But no, it is a paid guy. And then you get into it whenever you start paying guys, because you want guys there all the time. The volunteers, that kind of can shun the volunteers off, because now, they're, well, hey, those guys are going there. They're getting paid to go to that, that EMS call. So if I show up, I'm just sitting there watching them work. So that kind of can play in a factor.
Yeah.
So, I mean, yeah, it's very unfortunate. And I think they did the best they can do. But I mean, you're looking at a trailer house
Well,
like that, it can catch on fire, and it can be at the other end.
They
and-
go real fast.
yeah, I mean, you're less than
Go
10
real
minutes, the whole
fast.
thing's going to be engulfed. So, I mean, that's unfortunate how fast. A fire will, with the right side, which is the right fuel source, and it's been years since I took firefighter 1, but it'll double itself every 30 seconds. So you talk a fire as big as this table, in 3 minutes could have
And
this
it's
whole
gone.
room
Mhm.
going. So, I mean, it's unfortunate. I think they did the best they could, what they did. But
Well,
yeah.
just so long as they got everybody out. I think
Right.
everybody worked together and got them out of there anyway.
Absolutely. So, but yeah, they actually called me about that fire. One of the other board members from Belcher called me and talked to me about it and everything. And it's like, look, they got over there as quick as they could and everything like that.
Oh,
So,
well, yeah. I mean, they did what they could.
Right.
But like you said, it's on fire and it's gone before anybody can get there.
Absolutely. All right. Any other discussions? Get a motion to adjourn.
Make a motion.
Me too.
Any discussion? All in favor of adjourning?
Aye.
Bye.
All right, sounds good. On a more of a personal note, I don't know what all this is going to be like, but I am, if the commission approves it, which they usually have never done that, I'll be for the hospital board in Vivian starting in the next 60 days. I'm not sure, we're just waiting on the commission. The hospital board approved it 2 weeks ago, so I'll be
Oh, that's your new job?
No, that's just like this.
Another.
This is it's not a job if you're not getting paid. So
So you needed more to do.
yeah, I needed more to do.
Yeah.
That's what my wife said. So I
Yeah.
needed more to do. So
Yeah.
Well,
So-
at least you have some time with your kids still.
Yeah, well, and I'm home every night now, so I'm not flying near as much.
That makes a difference in the kids, for sure.